Hello, my name is Michael Boone, and this is my pitch for Adaption War. To start, let me ask you, what if there was a grid tactic game in which you have no control over the initial setup of the game? Adaption War is a 2D grid tactic game with a theme of medieval non-fantasy combat, such as like with the Crusades. The player will have several different actions that they're allowed to perform, one of which being movement. The player will have a set amount of spaces that they can move per unit, and they can move as far as they're able to with that unit, as long as there's nothing blocking them or slowing them down. The player will also be able to capture and use various bases throughout the levels. There will be various different types of bases as well, such as villages, forts, and castles, taking longer depending on what type of base it is. The player will also be able to summon various new units onto the field using these bases, and the training time for these new characters will take less time from castle, forts, and villages taking the longest. The player will also have the option to attack as long as they're within range of the unit's attack. This game will utilize two different weapon triangle systems, with units using swords, axes, and spears which follow one weapon triangle, and bows, crossbows, and daggers which follow another weapon triangle. You can attack amongst the weapon triangles across the two of them, and you'll have no advantages or disadvantages when doing that. But if you're fighting somebody that you have a disadvantage to, you won't be as effective in combat, or vice versa if you're fighting somebody that has an advantage. For those who use daggers, it should also be noted that there's two different types of dagger wielders. There's the assassins who can take over bases faster, and alchemists who are generally your healers and saboteurs as they can set traps on the field. The general rules and goals for the player in this game is to capture the main castle of the enemy. It also should be noted that in this game, when you initially start each level, your classes that you'll be using within the level are actually randomly generated. So you have to adapt with what is given to you in order to take bases, to get more helpful units, or to fight against what you have if you already start out superior to your enemy. This game is similar to games such as Advance Wars, which this combat system is very similar to, as well as Fire Emblem, which the units are more similar to. The main risk in developing this kind of game would be the quality of the bounds is very important, as per the levels and the units themselves, as well as there may be some bugs with the random unit generator for when you initially start each level. All of this balancing may become quite time-consuming as well. Thank you for watching, and again, this has been Michael Boone with my pitch for Adaption War.